make crucial contribution to economic growth and development. Bearing this in mind, eliminating human errors becomes expedient on the roads. This is Metamorphosis. Hello viewer, welcome to this educative program Metamorphosis. Thank you for letting me into your home. My name is Chika Ozulumba. Today we'll be discussing road transportation and our noble guest who has 30 years working experience with the Federal Road Safety Corp is on standby. He will be doing justice to this topic. See you in a moment.
Don't say it is my right. So you are on this fast lane and somebody start blabbing on top speed, still on the same lane behind you. What do? You move to the slow lane and allow the person to go.
If the light turns yellow, you must stop if it's safe to do so. However, if you're so close to the intersection when the light changes that you're unable to stop safely, you are legally allowed to drive through the yellow light.
We'll be speaking to Corps Commander Olusegun Ogungbemide. So you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So sometimes we hear of accidents and sometimes crashes. Could you differentiate between the two, sir?
Yes, Federal Road Safety Corp came up with the concept of a crash as different from the conventional understanding of accidents. Anytime something sudden occur, especially in the area of issues concerning vehicles getting involved in road traffic crashes or the one you call accidents on our way. Before we were calling it accidents, because by virtue of the definition of accident is something we never anticipate to happen, something sudden, something negative that we never imagined could happen that just happened beyond our control. That one is rated as accident. But along the line, the course of series of crashing research that have been conducted by Federal Road Safety Corp and the understanding of the United Nations, we come to realize that most of these incidents that we call accidents were not actually accidents. They were, by virtue of our human error or human conduct, they are accidents waiting to happen. So you can say accident waiting to happen is a crash. That means whoever that perpetrated it, in the course of conducting it, knew definitely that this thing would lead to this action. A man that was like going on 150 kilometers per hour instead of 100 kilometers per hour on the express, as stipulated by Federal Road Safety Corp, and he got involved in a crash. It's not an accident, because you know definitely by virtue of the speed you were going, you are going to lose control and an accident will happen. So we call it a crash.
Let's have a practical example of how safety can be maintained on the road.
So most times where you see the broken line, you see it on a straight road. It's an indication that because the road is straight, you can overtake on this space of the road if there's no oncoming vehicle. Why you cannot overtake on this solid line? Because you see it at bends. An indication that if you try to overtake here, you cannot see the oncoming vehicle coming from this other side. This one is going this way. So if there's a single lane now, one going here, one coming here. So assuming this is a U-turn, if you are making U-turn, you make U-turn here. The way they always build the road on a regular day is that the U-turn will have a lay-by, where if you make the U-turn, it will not affect the vehicle that is coming from here. Because you cannot make U-turn and run straight to the slow lane. It's a process. You have to make U-turn to this fast lane before you proceed to the slow lane. When you see a pothole in front of your trip, there's another pothole here in front of this man that is coming this way. Never you dodge your pothole to the left. Dodge your pothole to the right. If the shoulder is not good, slow down, enter the pothole and come out. Because when you dodge your pothole to the left, the man that is coming this way too, having a pothole in his front too, could decide to dodge his own pothole too to this side. What do you see? Head-on collision. But it's very difficult for this man to dodge his own pothole to your own shoulder. You see the impossibility is high. That this man is dodging pothole, it will not come to your own shoulder. So it's better you dodge it to your own shoulder. And if the shoulder is not good enough, you slow down. And anytime you are moving, you see road signs by the road. Is to guide you on what the condition of the road you're about to enter will look like. You are coming on a trip and you see these road signs that says multiple bend. It's an indication that this road you are about to enter, or this space of the road, has multiple bend or twining road. So these are the things that you look out for when you are driving. And you know this period, we have diversions here and there. We have directed the road construction companies that there must be proper signages. Because most time what we'll see these days is 3 lanes, vehicle coming with 3 lanes, being narrowed down to 1 or 2. So as you are approaching, 3 of you cannot enter at the same time. You have to be well cautioned. The operatives are there to guide you, but if you don't cooperate with them and respect them, we'll all slip on the road. Courtesy is what we should embrace while driving, rather than claiming of rights.
A certain report has it that 90% of crashes are caused by human errors. Is it true?
As much as I cannot accurately say from this table the total percentage, but the understanding of, as an outcome of the various research we have made, is that human error or human factor carry the bulk of the percentage when it comes to analysis of causes of road traffic crashes. Because we know that the road is there. Even when the roads are good, there are crashes on good roads. Even when the roads are bad, there are crashes on good roads. Then we have the vehicle. The vehicle is there. When the vehicle, you agree with me that even good vehicles that are not having problems do get involved in crashes. Before we now talk of those ones that are not even up to minimum safety standard. And when you look at these 2 factors that I mentioned, the road, the vehicle, they are being managed by man. So it takes the man to handle the vehicle properly or wrongly on a good road or on a bad road that could lead either to crash or no crash. So that's why anytime we have reason to analyze any crash on the road, we say it is as a result of an omission of doing what we ought not to have done, or doing what we ought to have done wrongly. That is the best definition I can give you about a crash or the cause of a crash. So by and large, it's the conduct of man that carries the majority of the reason why we have crashes on our roads.
While driving, what are the things we should do or not do to avoid crashes?
If you have a signage that tells you about the road having multiple bends, you will see it well specified there. It's always ahead of that particular aspect of the road for you to know that the road you're about to enter is with multiple bends. So if you're on high speed, what do? You reduce your speed. You also have the informative signs. It's the one that tells you there's a school ahead, there's a hospital ahead, There's a marketplace ahead, meaning that you are approaching built-up area. So if you are coming on 100 kilometers per hour all along on empty highway and you see this signage, it's an indication that you have to reduce your speed to 30 kilometers per hour in line with global status directive. And it assists in calming down the traffic and getting prepared that you are going to be interfacing with human beings as you are approaching that area. Courtesy is what we should embrace while driving rather than claiming of rights. Because when there's any crash on the road, Federal Road Safety Corp will not go there to house dead bodies. Who is right or who is wrong? We only evacuate every other person to the mortuary. So anytime you are driving, let courtesy be your guiding principle, not the right of the road. Don't say it is my right. So you are on this fast lane and somebody start blabbing on top speed, still on the same lane behind you. What do? You move to the slow lane and allow the person to go.
What's your message to Nigerians during this period, sir?
So the only thing we continue to talk is safety. Number one, safety. Number two, safety. Number three, safety. Number four, safety. That whenever we are making use of the road, we should be guided and carry the garment of caution in all aspects. And that's why I always project the concept of defensive driving to everybody that is willing to hear. Every road users, always be guided that when you're on the road as a driver, have foresight, think ahead, drive your vehicle and think for the other road users too. Think for the other man that is ahead of you. Think of the other man that is coming at the opposite. Think for the man that is coming behind you. Think for the pedestrian that is crossing the road. Think for the animals that you are going to come across while driving. And think for the weather too. You should be able to know that when the storm is getting tougher, anything could happen. So as a good defensive driver, you should be able to have that foresight. You should be alert. All your senses should be operating. Driving is not where you allow distractions to keep your mind and your eyes off the road. You have to give 100% concentration for you to be a good driver.
Let's hear from car owners and drivers what they expect from the Federal Road Safety Corp.
My expectation as an institution is to provide a service for members of the public in a very credible form.
So one thing I know about road safety is that they are doing their job, but there are areas which we need them to improve. On the area of securing of roads and rescue. On the area of rescue. You know, when incident happen on the highway, they're supposed to be at the first front to secure or to kind of rescue the accident victims. So that's the area where we need them to work on most. Not that when something happens, it will take like 10-15 minutes before they come around. By then, maybe one or two victims are already dead. So it's supposed to be on lane. We want the government to improve on that area, whereby they'll have their, like a post on the highway, apart from the patrol team. Those posts will serve as a point whereby if anything happens, they can easily be accessed. Not just working on maybe accosting vehicles and finding them alone, but the area we want to work on the most is on the area of rescue of accident victims.
Concerning road safety, their works have been very good and they are working effectively. They are doing their work very perfect. And actually, I will say concerning the traffics on the road, there are a lot of traffics on the road where it keeps a lot of people. So I want the traffic to be moving very perfect. No any obstruction on the road. And secondly, concerning vehicles that add issue that causes obstruction on the road, like the one that has accident also, if they can be able to make it very fast, you know, taking them away from the road very, very fast, it will be so good. And you know,
mine is a question for you people. You change the plate number for Nigerians, they paid money. On the line, you tell them that plate number now is washing away. and you're charging them for the plate number that is washing away. Who is to be blamed? The government did the plate number for us, and we paid money. Now you're catching people that the plate number is fading off. You are the one that made it to fade off, and you're billing us again.
Number plate of every vehicle, it is a means of identification. Now, if number plate is faded, at least within 60 meters, it should be visible. Like in the night, if a number plate is very okay, if it is not faded, there should be a kind of reflection, such that if there is light on that plate, there will be reflection. And ordinarily, even not law enforcement agents now, will be able to read what the number plate is all about. But if a number plate is faded, it has almost lost its value. And why is this number plate getting faded? It is as a result of the way we handle them. That's why after some time you see them fading away. If we are experiencing something like that as a result of the way we handle it, we are expected to go for replacement. There is a process of replacement such that it is that still same number that will be reproduced and handed over to you. Then those that are faded as a result of the way we handle them, it is equally an offense. Something like that, the offender will come to the office here and lay a complaint if there is any. Such situation like that, we have a unit that is responsible for it, and that is the unit of a Servicom.
There's a perception out there that haulage vehicles don't stop for smaller ones. Could it be their brake system, or what do you have to say about that?
I will relate it to self-discipline and failure to bring their vehicles up to minimum safety standard. Self-discipline in the sense that they don't have regard for other road users because they believe because of their size, every other road user should respect and wait for them to have the road. And the other way around is that majority of these vehicles that you see have spent their years outside this country before coming in. So many of them are not meeting up to minimum safety standard. And that's what prompted FRC to introduce safe to load, that before you are loaded, either by wet cargo or dry cargo, you are expected to meet up to minimum safety standard. So that it's better we stop you at the loading bay than for us to allow you to come and create problem for innocent road users. So it's only few that escape through the windows that you see that are perpetrating this. And on a daily basis, we get them arrested. How do you talk about a truck that does not have use for its inner mirror, not having side mirror? How do you talk about a truck that does not have functioning wiper during rainy season? And you say there's a crash? As a good driver, you ought to know the implication of not having these issues I just mentioned.
Looking for a comfortable place to live in? Look no further, for we got you covered. Here is Osaka, London. This is a fully detached duplex with spacious rooms, a swimming pool, fully equipped kitchen, fully automated speakers, cinemas, open terrace, camera surveillance. What else do you want? Just come and have a taste of the heavenly. semi-detached duplex still under construction. It will soon be ready with a swimming pool, open terrace, camera surveillance at the end of the construction, and also a cinema house. So virtually everything you have in the fully detached is here.
Beside the uncompleted semi-detached duplex is another. One is gone already.
Come to us for completed buildings, plots of land and service plots. For some, it is 24 hours electricity. What else do you want? Come and live like a king that you are.
This location is by Lekki Ekpe Expressway. Available are townhouses, service plots of land, flats, detached houses, and semi-detached houses. Here, it is 24 hours electricity supply, adequate potable water, and of course, recreational centers. Mortgage facilities and installment payment plans are available. Title: C of O.
Here is a semi-detached duplex. Ready, ready, ready. There's a swimming pool downstairs, cinema house, many things to enjoy. Just come. Just give us a call or do you right. We have varieties of locations. Simply get to us. We got you covered. Simply dial 081 7470 5050. We're expecting your calls.
Some people think it's legal to drive through a yellow light if your front tyres are over the stop line before the light changes to red. But that's not the rule. It's only legal to drive through a yellow light if you're unable to stop safely when the light changes. You see, the yellow light is not an extension of the green light, it's actually the beginning of the red. So when you approach traffic lights, you should always be prepared to stop in case the light suddenly changes. And you should check your rear-view mirror for vehicles travelling close behind. If the light turns yellow, you must stop if it's safe to do so. However, if you're so close to the intersection when the light changes that you're unable to stop safely, you are legally allowed to drive through the yellow light. Now, if the light changes to yellow after you've moved into an intersection waiting to turn right, you are also legally allowed to drive through the yellow light to clear the intersection.
Many of us are so even indisciplined as commuters too. The moment we enter a vehicle, under 2 minutes, look at your back. They are all snoring. Be conscious when you are in a vehicle as a passenger. Do not sleep.
Thank you for being a part of today's program. Don't forget to watch this episode and subsequent episodes on our YouTube channel and be a part of this beautiful world by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Feel free to follow us on social media. See you next week. Bye.